Alright, we're here with another edition of Talk Nerdy to Me, El Paso Herald Post Lifestyle section, Phoenix Comic Con. I'm here with the great Stan Sakai, owner, creator of Usagi Yojimbo. You're one of the, you actually are one of the few artists that still own their property, which is very cool. So you have full creative control over it. I was reading up, I see you started with working with Sergio Aragonés, another one of my top 10 favorite artists. How did you get started with Sergio?
I found Sergio's name in the phone book.
You just looked at the phone book?
I just looked it up in the phone book, and there he was. I wrote him a letter.
Oh, wow.
And he called me and said, well, I told him I'm a cartoonist from Hawaii. I just moved up to the mainland. We had a mutual friend, so I dropped his name. But basically, he called me up and said, hey, let's get together. I remember Dave, let's get together. And we've been friends, that was about 35, 36 years ago. And we've been friends ever since.
Sergio's a great guy.
He's a great guy. We traveled all over the world together, Norway, Spain, Hawaii, and he's a great guy.
And you did a lot of, I guess it was lettering for him. When did you branch out and start doing your own comics?
Well, I was doing artwork first, and it wasn't until Sergio asked me to do the lettering for Groo that I actually became a letterer. And the funny thing is, I had never lettered a comic book in my life, but I was teaching calligraphy at that time.
Oh yeah, same difference.
Well, it's slightly different. I mean, however, there was a comic magazine called Comic Scene, and each month would feature another aspect of comic book creation. That very month, Todd Klein wrote an article on how to hand letter the Todd Klein way. So I just pretty much
self-taught.
But
awesome.
I followed what Todd told me to.
Now, with Usagi Yojimbo, a lot of people think that's not really his name. His name is Miyamoto Usagi.
Yeah, Miyamoto Usagi.
And he didn't start with his own comic, right? He was under Nilson, Groundthumper?
Actually, Nilson Groundthumper is another character I had created. But Usagi first started in Albedo, #2. That was back in 1984.
First appearance.
So he's been going on for well more than 30 years.
Wow. And I know he's done a lot of work with the Ninja. It was under Mirage Studios for a while, you guys worked. And is that how you got in with the Ninja Turtles and Usagi?
Well, Usagi and the Turtles started off at the same time, actually the same month. It was November of 1984. And back then, there were very few black and white comics. There was Cerebus, ElfQuest, Grendo. But basically, it was new. And so we supported each other. We wrote letters to each other. And that's how our friendship started. And after the Turtles got their TV show, Peter Laird and I were at San Diego Con talking, and Peter just asked, "Do you want an Usagi toy?" I said, "Sure."
Those were some of the best episodes of the Turtles too. The tournament, yeah. And well, not just Usagi, with Jen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about Jen, but he's an awesome character also. Where do you see Usagi going in the future? I mean, you draw a lot of influence from Japanese culture and mythology.
I do a lot of research. I have done stories about sword making, about various festivals, even seaweed farming and creation of soy sauce. And I love the research that I have to do, and it's just enriching for me. Yeah. But it's also received a number of awards because of the research that I've done.
Yeah,
Usagi has also been used as a textbook in Japanese history classes at the university level.
Yeah. Well, I know it. I think that's what makes it so interesting. It feels authentic. Yeah, and like you said, it won a lot of awards, a lot of Eisner Awards, Ink Pots, and it's a very well-written, like you said, well-researched, and authentic book. So if anybody's interested in, the whole Japanese culture, they would absolutely love Usagi Yojimbo. I know I do.
Well, thank you. Also, too, Usagi is very reader-friendly.
Yes.
So even though I've been doing this for more than 30 years, you can pretty much pick up any episode, any book, and all you need to know, excuse me, is that Usagi is a samurai rabbit wandering 17th century anthropomorphic Japan. And from there, you can get into it.
Even the definition of Usagi Yojimbo, isn't that rabbit bodyguard?
Rabbit bodyguard, yeah.
So yeah, and like you said, there's every issue is a good jumping on point. There's no overarching story arc that you have to worry about coming in the middle. Pretty much every one of them is a good read by itself.
Right.
But they're better
that way.
They're better in mass.
Thank you.
Was there anything else you'd like to tell the viewers?
No, Usagi is continuing on. I took a 2-year hiatus, 1 year to do a story called 47 Ronin with Mike Richardson, which is based on a actual historical incident in Japanese history, one of the most famous. And another year to do a Usagi miniseries called Senso, which takes place 15 years in Usagi's future. And it's basically the Martians attack feudal Japan. And usually I'm known for my research, but this one was done just for the pure fun of it.
Yeah, kind of hard to research alien invasions. Awesome. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to do the interview with us. I'm sure everybody, legendary Stan Sakai, Usagi Yojimbo, owner, creator, artist. Check out his book. Thank you very much.
Was it okay?